Hello everybody, this is Dr. Fang-Mei Law from Tiffin University. Welcome to lecture of Introduction to Counseling. This video mainly is for Tiffin University student who is taking Sci 360 Intro to Counseling class with me. Hello my student. However, if you are not my student and you are watching this video, I welcome you as well. I believe counseling is wonderful stuff, and then I believe everybody should learn counseling. The theory of counseling, they are very useful for our life. Okay, so if you happen open this YouTube and you are not my student, welcome you. And if you are my student, I'm glad to see you again. I'm so glad. Okay, even the situation right now is not good. Coronavirus, we have to stay home. Good thing we have this internet, so we can still talk to each other. We still can share it with each other. Okay, so this is part 2 of Gestalt therapy, right? And so for this lecture, I prepare a whiteboard. So hopefully I can use this whiteboard to help me to be even more productive in our class for this lecture. Okay, so how to spell Gestalt? Everybody still remember? Right? This is Gestalt. G-E-S-T-A-L-T, right? And we say, what's that mean? What's that mean? Gestalt mean as a whole, right? So for example, if I am put on 3 dots like this. Okay, if you see these 3 dots, what you say? What you think about this? Okay, you can say, well, that's 3 dots, right? Or you may find yourself see a triangle, right? So that means Gestalt. Okay, that means Gestalt. When we see the things, even quite often they are not connected together. We tend to see the whole thing, right? We tend to see these 3 dots is a triangle, right? Or when we see 2 people, they are more sit together. Like sometimes when I see my student, the whole semester they sit together. For some reason, I say, do you guys have any relationship? Chances are they are very good friend, right? So that's Gestalt. Okay, so we spend part 1 to talk about the founder of Gestalt as Peirce, right? We talk about his life. So if you are interested, please go back to the part 1 for this YouTube to learn more about him. His life is very interesting, okay? And then also for my student, I post the Gestalt therapy quiz in your Moodle. So make sure when you have time, make sure you go and then take the quiz, okay? And so when we are talk about a theory, right, then we very care about how their view of human nature, right? Because each theorist, they may have a different point of view about human nature. So if you are in my PowerPoint, my student, you have my PowerPoint, you can go to page 40. Okay, page 40, that'll be about Peirce's view of human nature. Okay, so what did he say about human nature? What did he say? Something I like his theory a lot is he believes we all have potential to grow. We all have potential to grow, but we have to grow based on our own potential and make sure we helping ourselves or we helping each other to become self self-actualization. Self-actualization. Okay. So for example, they have a a plane here. Okay. So this will be different from a tree. So if your potential is a tree, then your self-actualization is to grow, become a tree. If you are a flower, you'll be the flower. Okay, so it's important. You have to know who you are. You have to know who you are. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, so to the best way to grow is to become you. Okay, the best product to grow, the best outcome for your self-development is to become who you are. That makes sense? Because quite often we work so hard, we tell ourselves, I want to be them. I want to be him. I want to be her. No, that's not. Based on Gestalt, the best actualization is to become who you are. It makes sense? Do you like the idea? Actually, I like the idea. Because quite often we are not happy our life because we try to become somebody else. And then the more you try to be somebody else, the more you find you are not a person. And then you'll feel so frustrated, right? So become who you are. And then who are you? Well, that'll be something you need to take time to ask yourself to explore your potential, because chances are we are come from different seeds. We are come from different seeds. Everybody God give us, produce us, give us a seeds, right? And we are the seeds. How do we become, right? Then we are different. We are different. Everybody different. Okay, so that is important to aware for the Gestalt theory. Okay, it's important for helping yourself, helping other, helping each other become self-actualization. That means to become who you are. Okay, so then we say Gestalt. Okay, then Gestalt we say it's what words from where? German. Okay, from German. Okay, and the words is mean what? It mean as a whole. It mean complete. Okay, and also it's a pattern. It's a form. Okay, so if we see that, let's do again. So for example, if I draw a big line and then small and bigger and small like this. Okay, so if we draw like this, you may tend to believe this two is a group, this two is a group, right? Or we can say this together like a straight line. Okay, looks like do I draw straight? Looks like it's sideways. I don't know why. Okay, but I try to draw a straight line. But anyway, you know what I mean, right? So it's a pattern. Okay, it's a pattern. So let me draw a better way. So one line. Okay, let me do this. Okay, hopefully it's straight. Okay, so when you see this, right, you may see, you may say, okay, this three is a pattern, that's a pattern, and this two. But then together, if I ask you to keep drawing, you may draw like this. You may draw a longer line and then three short line. You may keep going, follow my pattern, okay? And so that is mean Gestalt. So we all have that a tendency, we like to, follow the pattern, and then we also tend to see the thing as a pattern. Okay, and so so that means Gestalt. Okay, a pattern, a completion, a form, configuration. Okay, and integration. Okay, so that's Gestalt. Okay, and so it's also important when you work as Gestalt therapy, you also help client to be integrated integrate. They also the mean Gestalt. It means integrate. Like for example, each of us have a different side of ourselves, right? We have strong part, we have weak part. So if we can integrate, that means my strong part can help my weak part, and then we work together, and then we accomplish something, and we call that integration. Okay, so that's the meaning of Gestalt. That makes sense? Okay, so for example, if you learn chemistry, right, then they will tell you, right, how to say water, right? Water, you have a what? H, and then O, right? And then you brought them together, right? So become what? H2O, right? So that's water. This is water, right? But if you separate them, that's just HO, right? And they are not water. They are not water. They will become water when they are together. Okay, so this is Gestalt. This is a Gestalt of these three things, right? Does it make sense? Okay. So if you are so thirsty, can I just give oxygen? No, I can, but you won't. You won't make you less thirsty, right? You need water, right? Okay. So now, when Gestalt talk about Peirce talk about Gestalt, okay. Now they talk about your Gestalt as a mentally, and then Gestalt as behaviorally. Okay, so when we say behavior part of Gestalt, that means you take responsibility to do the job you're supposed to do, then you finish, right? That's your behavior side Gestalt. For example, if you are my student, right? Even we are not meet in class, but you supposedly, right? You supposedly open this link, right? And listen this lecture, right? So even I don't know, I don't see, but that's your job. That's your responsibility. So that's your behavior gestation. So you get the Gestalt part of the behavior part of your Gestalt. That means you take your responsibility to complete the thing you're supposed to, okay? And then your mentally Gestalt will be you keep working on, and you fulfill your plan, you fulfill your dream, and you become who you are. And that's your psychological part of Gestalt, okay? And of course, these two, they are hand on hand, right? If you can keep doing what you're supposed to do, you eventually become the one that you will become, right? If you don't do your job, then you may not get to the place that you want to go. Okay, so for example, you want to get the A from this class, then what did you do? You just do what I put there for you to learn, and you do your best, and you do a job, you turn in assignment, you take online quiz, and you study and you understand. And then when you hear this lecture, you go back to write down your discussion, then you will eventually get a good grade because you do your part. And by the way, I appreciate many of you already go in and then post your feedback and discussion. My God, it's so good. I really appreciate to hear your feedback about this video, to hear your feedback about how do you learn from the lecture. It's all my heart. Remember in the class, I always say, if I don't see you, it broken my heart, right? And unfortunately now, I'm not able to go to class to see you, and then so do you not able to go to class to see me. That's why I like to make this lecture. So then I know when I push the button, I know you are there waiting and you are there to listen. And I know, for you to see me, and same time, I can feel you are there. And then when you write down the discussion, the feedback, then I can hear what you get from this lecture. So it's like, it's a two-way, okay? Even it's a online lecture, I still consider this two-way, okay? So that's behavior Gestalt, and then that psychological Gestalt. Okay, that makes sense? Okay, very good. Okay, now the next one, let's talk about, continue talk about. So when we talk about Gestalt, something we also need to keep in mind is environment. Environment, because we cannot be complete without our background, and our background will make us looks different. Okay, so let's try. So I have this whiteboard. Okay, let me put the whiteboard behind me. Okay, so then that's me, my background have a whiteboard, right? And now my background have no whiteboard, right? Somehow they are feel a little bit different, right? So for example, let me put this one here, and I put a white background. Okay, white background here. If you look at this part, the white background, then I take out with a black background. Somehow they look different. So then that's why when I prepared to recording the video, I also need to look at, I first open the screen and see how the whole setting looks like, right? If my area is too messy, I won't use that as the background, because that will make your eyes very uncomfortable, right? So that's important. We know who are we. Quite often depend on where are we. Who are we? Quite often depend on where are we. I'm so proud to be the faculty of Tiffin University. So Tiffin University is my environment. And because I work there, when I introduce myself, I say I'm the faculty from Tiffin University. Okay, that's my role in my job. When I go home, I become the mother of my kids. I become the wife of my husband, right? I become a citizen of a country, right? So who are you? It's really depend on where are you, right? So when people ask me like, who are you? I quite often I have to say, which part of me you want to know? Which part of me you want to know, right? So a lot of you know I'm from Taiwan, and now I live in Ohio. I'm the faculty from Tiffin University, right? And I have a major in counseling. I got my PhD from Mississippi State University. So you can see I have a different part of me. And then I'm twin, A lot of you maybe know I have twin. Her name is Fang-Mei, and I'm Fang-Mei, right? So many different parts of you. So when people want to know you, you may want to ask them which part of me you want to know, okay? And so if we are aware where we are, okay, then we will be more aware about who we are, okay? More aware about who we are, okay? So that's important. You cannot ever to ignore the factor of environment. The factor of environment, because they are determine who we are. And then quite often we look different in different environment, right? So I know many of my students and many of you are working, right? And then when you sit in the class as my student, you are in the environment called classroom. And you look just like student. You sit there, you take notes, you either smile at me or you are like almost fall asleep, right? Or some of you, I know you try to use cell phone, right? But anyway, it looks like just a student, right? You sit there. But when I come to your working place, oh my gosh, you totally different person. You look like adult. You look so real, right? You are helping your customer, right? You are helping your whoever, whatever your job. And some of you maybe even the manager, you can see you are so different. That's why, for this period of time, I'm not have chance to go back to my office. I'm kind of miss them because every time when I sit in my office, I feel so professional. I feel so professional. I feel I'm more professional in my office than I sit in my kitchen, right? Because that is an environment that determines who you are, right? It makes sense? Yes. Okay. So now, when we helping people, quite often they come and say they want to change. They want to change, okay? So what is the concept of change in Gestalt? Okay, now they have a theory here called paradoxical theory. Okay, so instead bring you to my computer screen, I'm going to just write down the name just in case you don't understand my English. Okay, this Paradoxical. I'm picking my screen. Hopefully I don't spell right. Okay, Paradoxical theory. Paradoxical theory of change. Paradoxical theory of change. What's that mean? That definition in your PowerPoint, and then I can read out loud for the people you don't have my PowerPoint. They say, if you want the other person to change to someone different from himself or herself, the more he or she will remain. The more you want change other people to become people different from themselves, the more they will remain. That means they won't change. They won't change, okay? So don't change them to be the person different from the original them, okay? So for example, if you want to change a flower seed, ask this flower seed to grow, become a tree. Do you think it's possible? I don't think so, right? If they are tree, they say, I don't want this tall. Make me short. I want to be cute like a flower. Okay, I don't think that's possible, right? A lot of my students, they are really tall. They are much taller than me. And one student even joking say, Dr. Lu, I can put you in my pocket, right? Well, I'm not as short in Taiwan, but when I come to America, people think I'm short. That's not my fault, okay? Because I'm in different environment, right? So I cannot become a tall people like my student, some of my students, and then some of my students, you are so tall, you can make yourself short like me, okay? That's no way. So it's important. So the real change, that's what our PowerPoint said. The real change comes from the true understanding and awareness of yourself, not from a desire to be yourself. That makes sense? The real change comes from the true understanding and awareness of yourself, not from a desire to be yourself. Okay, so you don't say, I desire to be this kind of people, so I can be that person. No, you have to come from, you understand and awareness who you are, and then you become who you are. That makes sense? Okay, so not undoing rather than of doing. Okay, not undoing rather than of doing. Okay, that's what they say we say in PowerPoint. Okay, so life experience, when you experience life, you cannot get second-hand experience. Okay, even Bandura in psychology say, oh, you can learn by observe, right? But you can learn by observe, so you know somebody doing something wrong, you won't try it. That's fine, but you don't really know how they feel like. Okay, so for example, somebody burn their hand and they're so hurt, and you see they are hurting, so you don't burn your hand. It's not mean you know how they're feeling to burn your hand. Of course, I'm not saying you have to go to try, but just knowing, you never really know what's going on. Okay, that's why when we say empathy, in our psychology, we say empathy, right? And actually, Carl Rogers, from his theory, he taught us we only can feel like we understand them as if we are them. We only can understand them as if we are them, but we don't really able to really get that experience. Okay, so second hand is really not you're not really able to experience life in the second hand. Okay, and also he say, so when you are pursue your self-actualization, if you feel frustrated, if you feel so painful, it's okay. That growing pain is the reason, is the power to make you grow. Okay, so if you sense of growing pain, that's mean you are growing. Okay, if you feel frustrated, that means you are growing. So it's okay. It's okay to have that uneasy feeling, because you know what? That's the life. So for example, I'm recording this video, right? That's not my expertise, right? I never major in how to produce video or something. I'm just a professor, right? But now, because this coronavirus, I have to learn it. And so I experience growing pain. Sometimes in the middle of recording, I have to stop, right? And I have to redo it, okay? So, and then during this lecture, you may find I'm not perfect, I have sometimes maybe forget what I need to say, or whatever, right? And that's called growing. That's called growing, and it's okay, right? That's called growing pain, and that's okay. So remember what means change. What means change? Change is mean to become who you are. Okay? Change is mean to grow yourself. And of course, you can stretch yourself. That's why you call growing pain, right? You may be maybe same seat with some of your people, some people similar kind. But if you expanding you more, you maybe grow more, right? And no matter what, growing can be painful. Growing can be frustration, but it's okay. Okay, don't give up. Don't say, oh my gosh, And for example, in college life is not easy. To get through each class, to get A it's not easy job, right? So you do your best, you put your time, and piece by piece, step by step, day by day, you are going to grow to become who you are. And you might surprise yourself, right? To see, wow, I didn't even know it. I have this side of myself. Now I see it and I enjoy it, right? Okay, are we good so far? I'm trying to see how much time I use. Okay, 30 minutes right now. Okay, so let me stop here so I can process the video and then we come back for the second part. Okay, so I'll see you later and hope you stay healthy and stay safe. Okay, see you next time. Bye bye.